So today I am here to talk with you a little bit about a daily routine, 14-day routine for recovering from a severe corona infection or even mild. It's really up to you. I mean, it'll still help anyone, and it will prevent any acute cases from taking place if people follow the advice and the guidelines in here very closely. I healed from severe acute respiratory distress, cytokine autoimmune damage to my lungs, and an ongoing and progressively worsening condition brought on by Covid-19 or COVID SARS-2, whatever the hell they call it now. And it worked for me. This worked for me. This healed me. This healed my lungs. This prevented viral replication in the lungs. It dissolved the outer lipid of the viruses, preventing them from being able to infect my body further and killing them. And it also helped to remove the pains and a lot of the issues that I was experiencing. It took away all of the cytokine storms and brought me from the brink of death to totally recovered. Now I'm at day 13 since I started doing the oil treatment, MCT oil treatment, and I can tell you with absolute total confidence and clarity I've reversed everything and I've completely came back from the very brink of death. And it didn't take much. It just took what is very simply laid out in here. Anyone could do it. It works. It's just does. You can try it yourself, and I recommend everyone get on this. This might become a seasonal flu, according to certain scientists and individuals. So, I mean, if we go through this once a year until we finally get rid of 5G, which I believe is the main reason why this virus is here, is to bring balance. That's how out of balance 5G is with our environment. That this virus had to shut down the entire global economy and and flight and oil and everything, basically grinding the entire globalized system right to a halt, total halt, out of control. Nobody has the ability to control any of this. They're only scrambling. Everyone is scrambling everywhere to try and save themselves, and that's all that's really going on here. It's out of control. And the only control there is in Mother Nature's hands and in God's hands, and that's it. And but you know, there's ways we can deal with this naturally in a healthy way, where you don't have to panic, you don't have to worry. You just follow these things. I would just say panic and worry just enough to get it. So this is what I'm using. I'm using MCT oil. You can use any brand, I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is high quality stuff. Nativa is well known for good products. So, I mean, whatever, do your research. I use this. It just, my mother handed it to me. She was using it for a keto diet. I asked her if she had any of that left. She gave it to me. I didn't even think about vaping or nebulizing this until a near-death experience I had. And then I thought, well, I have this, basically this nebulizer, or ultrasonic diffuser, which is like a essential oil diffuser. Often it goes by the name of, you know, and I was already using this and to nebulize my colloidal silver that I was generating, and the colloidal silver seemed to help, although it did bring a lot of pain in my lung, and it didn't totally cure it, but it certainly brought it down about 90% if I really went hard vaping it, but it was very painful. So I would recommend MCT oil over the colloidal silver any day, and that's what I started using. On my worst day, I thought I was done. I thought I was over. I didn't know what else to do. I decided not to go to the hospital. I thought I would rather die alone in my house, because that way I'm not putting others at risk. But lo and behold, like a miracle, I looked over and I saw this bottle of MCT oil. It's liquid, as you can see, at room temperature. So that's perfect for these kind of devices. Whereas coconut oil is, thick and gooey at room temperature. It doesn't really, you have to bring it up, the temperature up, melt it in order to get it to go into your lungs properly. Now, you could probably just add hot water to one of these things. I mean, this is plastic, not a very lovely idea putting heated things in here, but better than death, okay? So you could probably put hot water in here, or create a device that you put on a stove. Just, I had an idea of just taking a homemade nebulizer, which basically you make with one of these devices. And you place this in a crock pot with a jar, inside a jar of water with coconut oil sitting on top, and just let that warm up and heat up, and then you should be able to get the same, hopefully the same result as I do, just by nebulizing coconut oil. And coconut oil, once it's in your lungs, will stay liquid. Although there's long chain medium triglycerides in there, and the thing about MCT oil is medium chain is it doesn't need bile or enzymes to break down. The body just uses it immediately. The lung uses it instantaneously as a fuel source. And so, that kind of coconut oil on its own, I'd say better than nothing. And if I had no choice, if that's all I had, I'd do it. I would not even think for a minute. If I knew I was going to die, I knew I was toast unless I did something. And thank God I had this. I did it, and it worked. So it cured my lungs. It fixed all my pains, went away. Cytokine storms disappeared in minutes. The viral replication went away. And as long as you keep that up, I'd say minimum 14 days in a row that you do this treatment, you should be back to normal after that. Now, I'm going to give you a protocol here. This is my personal protocol I'm offering to people out there. And this is what I'm using, and it's working for me. So it worked for me. It wouldn't hurt trying it out for yourself. I'm sure it'll do the same for you. So basically, once a day, at least, minimum one time a day, get your nebulizer or your ultrasonic cleaner, ultrasonic mistmaker, I should say, or your ultrasonic essential oil diffuser, and inhale that in the lung for about a minute to 2 minutes. Is good for me at this point I'm at right now. Anyway, if you're just starting out and you have severe acute symptoms and it's really bad, I mean, you're probably going to want to go longer than that. I did the first time maybe for an hour or two. I just sat there inhaling this oil. I probably had like 60 milliliters I managed to get into my lungs after that period of time. I got lipid pneumonia from it, just very temporarily, which basically means a lack of oxygen going to the body. Doesn't matter how much I was breathing. I kind of felt like a little bit of lack of oxygen. It's disconcerting. That faded after about 60 seconds, and shows how quickly that oil absorbed. So I mean, you just be mindful about how much you take, but any amount, in my opinion, would be safer and better than death that you could get from this corona. So so my advice, after you've knocked it out, once you've knocked it out and you feel comfortable, a daily maintenance dose of around a minute or two of inhaling this, like 20 to 30 lung inhales, which isn't much. You just do that once or twice a day. And after you've done that, basically go for a jog. Take some vitamin C first. Take about 3 to 5 grams of vitamin C, and down that, and then go for a jog for about 15 minutes, if you know you can handle that. And then once you're finished the jog, actually, you know what? I kind of missed something here. Hang on. I'll re-edit this later. Okay, so the first thing is to do this oil treatment for about a minute a day. At the very minimum, and just listen to your body and follow your heart and your mind and your intuition, and you'll know what if you want to go further. But for me, I would just say minimum at least 1 minute to 2 minutes a day of nebulizing coconut oil. So you get that in your lungs. Once you've got that coconut oil in your lungs, the next step is to basically do some body work and breath work. So, and this is incredibly important. I found it to be indispensable in this process because the lungs, have been affected. If you had cytokine storms like I did in particular, and you can feel the damage and you've been hurt. Well, for me, like, still day 13 after I started this treatment, I'm feeling a little bit of long-term damage that happens as a result of the cytokine storms. So the storms go in, they damage the lungs. The only thing that'll heal that is you know, time and vitamins, a lot of vitamin C and plenty of protein and plenty of this breath work, especially if you get this oil in your lungs, I believe will really significantly enhance the healing process. It seems to, what it does for me is it takes the pain out. Even today, any amount of like weird leftover residual damage done as a result of the storms that were happening is being healed just from breathing this oil in and then doing these exercises. And the exercises are very simple. Basically, you take deep breaths. As soon as you finish done in a minute of this work, take deep breath. Feel into your lungs. Where are you feeling? Are you feeling pain? If you're feeling pain in some situation, in some location, flex those lungs with the air in them. Okay, take deep breaths like that. Flex your body in different patterns. You can move your body left to right. This is a Kundalini yoga position. This works, and it helped my lungs immensely. So you do that. Deep breaths, flexing the muscles here in the rib cage. Another good one is breathing out, sucking the gut up under the stomach. That helps to really like pull and tug on those lungs in a direction we usually don't really do often. Another one is kind of like forcing the flex inward and then outward, both directions. So what you're doing here is you're sucking the rib cage in, and that's jarring the lung, and it's helping to create more pressure in the lungs. And what it's doing is it's changing the way the oil is absorbed. It forces the oil deeper into the alveoli, into the viral areas, and the areas that are more, you know, where the viruses have been kind of forced deeper into the lungs. So this treatment, that kind of movement and this kind of movement, you know, you take a breath, flex your lungs, flex your chest, move your body, see what you feel when you're moving around, and if you're feeling some kind of pain in a certain location, try and push into that, flex into that, breathe into that, move into that, flex your lungs, and get that, and then if you need to, do some more oil, get that oil in there and do the work. And what that will do is help to heal the long-term damage and speed up the healing process. So once you've done that, immediately after you've done this breath work and oil work, take about 3 to 5 grams of vitamin C. Then go for a jog for about 15 minutes or whatever feels comfortable to you. Come back home. If you feel is necessary to avoid secondary infections or lung infections or issues as a result of being outside with a weakened immune system, you can always redo your lungs, because this oil will prevent pneumonia. It will prevent a secondary infection in the lung because it's antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal, antivirus. So it'll knock anything out that could get there. Okay. So, and then after that, basically, that's pretty much it. That's basically it. You know, you can do whatever other exercises you want or need after, have a meal, whatever feels like you know right to you. But that really, I think that's my protocol basically, and that's what I do every day. So I inhale the oil, I do some lung exercises, I do some flexing, a little bit of Kundalini yoga, particularly the Mahabandha mudra, lock, one of them anyway, the stomach up under the rib cage, and various similar kriya. Then I go for a jog. I take some vitamin C, and then I go for a jog. Come back home, and if I feel like I need to do a little bit more work, I might inhale some more of this oil. That's basically it, and that's all I really recommend. And that's the routine. I recommend you do that for about 14 days. I also recommend put on some of the music. I have some meditation music, very beautiful. I found it to be incredibly relaxing, especially when at a certain stage when I had a lot of fear and anxiety from all this virus news that we're seeing in the news all day long. Put on this music, it just totally relaxed me and put me into a state of absolute inner peace. And I recommend you listen to this, get it on your iPhone if you can, or computer, whatever. The louder the speakers, the better, or with the headphones, even better. It really will help you to relax and just chill out, and having a no stress, being totally relaxed will really significantly boost your immune system. So it's important, and this music on its own can really help people with that. So check that out, listen to that, and see how it helps you. I would say that's basically it. This is my protocol. This is the treatment that worked for me. It cured my lungs. It healed my storms. It killed the viruses in my lungs, and it's helping in the long term with the physiotherapy aspects of healing the lung damage as a result of the cytokine storms that went in and really ravaged everything in there. That's basically it. So keep in touch, keep in tuned. Check back in the future for more videos. There's going to be more soon. I thank you for listening, and I wish you well, much love, and many blessings during this wild and crazy time we're living through right now. So take care.